Professor John. Thanks for being here today with us. And I would like to start our conversation asking what could define, in a summary, positive leadership, and what would be the advantages of leading people in this way?
Mm-hmm. Well, bom dia. It's a pleasure to be back in Brazil once again. I haven't been here as we were discussing earlier, for over 20 years, and it's amazing for me to see the changes and the enthusiasm of the Brazilian people. I think when we talk about positive leadership, it's looking at those aspects of what people do, and the two things that I focus on is trust and love. And it's about looking at the positive aspects of the people that we deal with and the positive aspects of our community and our world. And I believe that what unites us is much stronger than those small things that divide us. So when we think in psychology, there's lots of people working on the dysfunctional aspects of behavior. So if you're having problems, you go and you receive help. And if you have something that's not working, there's counseling and support mechanisms for people, whether they're having trouble with drugs or alcohol or with their relationships. When we focus on the positive side, it's taking people who are doing well and then saying, how can you be positive about trying to be better? And so it's a search for becoming better or best and receiving coaching, life coaching, different people helping each other to be the best that we can be.
We can see that you had a really different profile of career, working to the Marines and then graduating first from psychology, communications engineering, and business. And we would like to know what was essential on this path to the success.
The question you said about what makes those things come together, for me, in achieving success in many different areas, it comes down to the people, and to have a focus on success that I think happens in 5 steps. So the first step in any of the things that you try to do, I believe, for people, is the investment you make in yourself. It's about I, and no one can do your push-ups for you. So it's about the journey inward to find yourself and your own strengths, talents, and abilities. The next step, right after the focus internally, is to think about the we, that none of us makes it alone. And it's through organizational support, it's through your family, it's through friends, associates, coaches, mentors. All of this comes together in a community of helping each other. The third step, I believe, is having a notion of winning. What is winning in our lives? And each of us has to define that for ourselves and understand about these cliches that we talk about. It's fun to win, not as much fun to lose, but if you don't go out and compete, you can't even lose. You know, and it's about not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. The fourth step, I think, when you look at being successful, is what kind of competitive advantage do you have? I call it the edge. And your edge can be your attitude. And I believe that regardless of our physical talents and our mental talents, our attitude and the quality of our attitude is as important as the quality of our work. And so you should recognize that each of us has different strengths and abilities and talents, and it's working together that makes a difference. And then the final thing I think is essential in success is having a sense of purpose and direction, and I call that having the will to turn your dreams into reality with an effective goal setting process. And I think that as we focus and try to become successful in life, it requires a balance in your family goals, your financial goals, personal goals, professional goals, and then your spiritual goals.
The importance of people who influence and inspire us to make possible to overcome obstacles in our lives.
I think the importance is to recognize that as we go through life, and as I said before about winning and about the we part of not making it alone, I think people come into our lives in 2 different ways. They inspire us and they influence us. And I think it's possible to be inspired by people that you are not in contact with, or things that you're not in contact with. And I think those are, for example, many of the people, I believe, in Brazil would be inspired by a New York football player. The New York Cosmos was a great club many years ago in New York, and we have a great New Yorker named Pelé, and he's a good football player from the Cosmos. And even though people are young and maybe never saw this great New Yorker play football, he can still inspire many people with his talents. Also, there are people that you see in the newspaper that inspire you, great leaders around the country in America doing wonderful things, people that save lives in natural disasters. But then it's another essential part and a difference in thinking about the people that influence us, and those are people that we are in contact with. And people that influence us in our family could be our parents, it could be an older or younger brother or sister, an uncle, it could be a coach that's there. It could be your first boss in a job that takes an interest in you, a professor. And so we need to acknowledge that those people have had an impact on our lives and take the time to say thank you. Because we know, we should realize that we stand on those shoulders of those people who have allowed us to see our lives and what we need to do in a different way. And then part of that process of one being influenced or inspired, but then our responsibility to influence and inspire others.